You were talking about the importance of tears and tears of sadness, and I think Dr. Gordon Neufeld talks about this as well a lot. Could you elaborate a little bit more? Because I'm not sure that everybody is familiar with the idea, and why is it so critical to have those tears of sadness?
Yeah. So when I say tears, tears of sadness, I'm not saying that you forcefully make your children cry. Thinking about sadness as an emotion, sadness actually saves us more times than we probably understand, because there's a lot of things that don't work. There's a lot of things that are scary or frustrating, and our children aren't wired up neurologically with this information. It's only when they encounter that in the world that they can, like, wow, I can only have one cookie? Yes, really. I'm going to give you a cookie, you're going to love it, and there's only one. It's like, what kind of place is this? So like they're running into these futilities. And what we understand about how the brain develops is that when we can encounter and experience in a vulnerable way the futility that is in our life, and it melts into tears or sadness or disappointment. It doesn't have to go into tears, but that being a metaphor for sadness, then fundamentally we are changed by those experiences. Oh, we can only get one cookie. No, mom isn't going to say yes to staying up later. No, there really is, I can't cheat at this game. Like, this is how we help our children become much more mature, more responsible, is by also pointing out what cannot, will not, and should not work. If it's a free for all, they're not ready for the world they're going to live in. They're going to be sorely disappointed when they get out there and realize that not everybody's going to make the world work for them. It doesn't mean we should torment them and make them cry for no reason. But there's times when we say yes, and there's times when we say no. If we say no, then is there generosity and room for them to be sad about the things that we've said no to? That movement from frustration into sadness is important for brain development, for growth, for cultivating resiliency and resourcefulness, and for becoming much more tempered and understanding that there's limits in your world, and being part of civil society. And so every parent must make that decision of, is this a time I'm saying no and going for tears? Some parents might say I'm going to distract. Some parents might say I'm going to play it out. But there does have to be an end of the day. There does have to be some things that just you can't do. And no, we'll get to the park when you get your hat on. No, we're not going to read another story. No, I can't let you hit your sister. No, I am going to take away the trains that you're having a hard time sharing right now. It's not to punish you. It's just to say it's not working. And so I need to be the one to take care. So yes, tears, sadness. I don't think there's many parents who long to hear their children be sad and to cry. And in fact, the research on sort of whining, and that like frustrated level of not quite tears yet, but that is the most annoying sound to the human ear. Research says it's the most annoying sound. Yes, it is.
It is.
It's meant to get our attention. And we're just like, just make it stop. Like, give them what they want. But, no, they shouldn't always win at checkers. No, they do need to experience some lack and loss, maybe in play or otherwise. But this is hard, especially if you've worked all day, you've come home, you just want to sit down, eat, have a nice meal and time together, and some child is frustrated and isn't getting what they wanted, and now you got a big temper tantrum. Well, sometimes we do have to get very patiently. That's going to be a no. Let the frustration come out. Don't let it be a free-for-all over a younger sibling or a dog or a cat or whatever. Find ways for that to come out that doesn't have repercussions for the relationship. And if you can, hopefully the child can get to some tears. Some kids have stuck tears and it won't work. That will make a child escalate and become much more full of attack. And so we'd say, do they actually have the capacity to cry those sad tears? If you don't see signs of sadness, signs of caring, those more vulnerable feelings, then just hold off on that a little bit and make sure that you do see some of those signs there, because otherwise you just escalate the situation tremendously. So it's an art. It's not a science. It's not you have to do it this way. But sadness and the capacity for that disappointment is one of the signs of actually mental health and well-being in a child.
Yeah, and I think it's very important what you're saying, because we really as parents want our kids to be happy naturally, let's say, and that's, yeah, very difficult sometimes to just, and we know we can tweak the reality when they're 3 a little bit, so to make them happy. But yeah, that probably wouldn't make too much good in the future.
No, it runs out quickly, especially when they start to go to school and they realize there's a classroom of 20 kids and one teacher. That's not going to fly. Like, no, you're going to wait your turn. No, it's not all about you. No, I am going to make decisions. And the child's like, well, this isn't fair. Well, it doesn't feel fair if you haven't had your tears about, the futilities that are there.